What's up, everybody? It's the Super Bowl edition of the NFC East show, and we're here live. I got my Super Bowl shirt on, from LIV. So that was in Tampa. I was there with True. Yeah, I think we were at the party together, were we not?
I believe so.
Yeah, that was a party we were at. That was down in Tampa. An interesting party. That was a what the buck. That was when Tom Brady got his last one in there. And of course, Sneaky's here. He hasn't been. We haven't seen each other in a little bit, so we're back here, and we'll be ready to with Jeff if he shows up here. Pork rind. Hopefully. How you guys doing? Yeah, I feel like we would probably all feel the same way. Uh, we might as well start off with the biggest news of the week.
The hiring.
I gotta get my salsa on. I'm gonna be dancing the salsa down in Brazil and San Paulo as I get to open up the season before you guys do on a Friday in Brazil. Not sure who we're going up against, but I know it will not be either one of you guys.
Nope.
So, actually, my thoughts are that it will be Green Bay. Yeah, why not?
Who are your who are the AFC opponents you got coming up next year?
So the home games would be Jacksonville, no go, because they're not going to Brazil because they're going to Europe. It would be Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is too much of a rivalry for Pennsylvania, so I don't think that that's going to be it. And then it's Cleveland. Cleveland's a possibility. I could see them having Cleveland go down there. The other two are Green Bay, who could possibly be. Can't be Carolina because Carolina's got Germany. And it could be Atlanta.
Okay.
And those are the 6 possibilities because it's not going to be the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, or the Washington Commanders.
No. It would I would have to probably think it'd be the Cleveland Browns base,
or the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons is the one team I'm missing.
Yeah, I don't see two NFC teams down there. I just see one of each. So you pointed out Pittsburgh being strong. I think it would be the Cleveland Browns.
Well, don't the NFL have a funky, weird, like stat how they do the calendar or how they do the scheduling? I forgot who we're playing next year, but it's like one of those one-offs where it's like you're this.
Our 17th game would be against Jacksonville, and it's not going to be a bet against Jacksonville.
Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, or who are we playing next year? What division? I forgot.
So we play the North, AFC North,
okay,
Pittsburgh.
And the NFC South.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's why, and then Green Bay is the one team that we get at home because they are in second place as well.
Okay. Because I know how they set up. Like, there's this one-off team where we play that you guys don't play.
Yeah.
Well, no, on the AFC side, that's going to be from the AFC South.
Oh, right. But there's that one team that we play that, the Cowboys and the, in the division that we only play against. I can't remember what.
That's what he's saying.
But so that's you play all of the third place teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
where we play the second place
Well,
teams.
that's what I mean. Yeah, that's the one off. Okay. We're tracking.
So yeah, and that's why I think it could be Green Bay. I think the reason why I think it could be Green Bay is because I thought it would be an AFC opponent, something that didn't matter much. But I don't think that they care about that as much. They want to put a good showing down there. And to have Jordan Love against Jalen Hurts, I mean, not for nothing, Jalen Hurts for most of the season had the highest selling. The beginning of the season, it was between him and Micah Parsons. And then at the end of the season, it was Jalen Hurts for a lot of it until it became Kelsey, Travis Kelsey, Jason Kelsey.
But next year, Deshaun Watson will be back. So,
well, they thought about that too. However, I don't know that the NFL wants to have him go.
I hear you there.
All the massage parlors down there, it's like that's like saying, hey, we're gonna bring some Alaskan king crab to a crab party, crab bake. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, what's the point of that? So I think that's not a good idea for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah, that's
so it could be
a risk the
Pittsburgh.
NFL I don't think want to take either.
It could be Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it could be.
And
I also know. So this is the precipice here, that in 2026 that they're going to play their first game in Australia, and I know who's already slated to be the home team there.
Who?
The
Dallas
Eagles.
Cowboys.
Oh, the Australia.
Oh, that's like, yeah, because we already had our overseas game. No, I was going to say I completely forgot about the Deshaun Watson. I forgot about Deshaun Watson, period, because of how Flacco came along and had that performance.
Yeah, and just to think he's still $250 million richer than us.
Oh yeah. Oh, easy. Easy. Now, speaking of the Eagles, I don't know if you guys spoke about it last week.
We didn't talk last week at all.
Oh, that's right. We didn't. It was the week before when I was sick. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Kellen Moore is now coming to the Eagles.
Yeah.
They're, just expect.
We talked about that on your show on Monday when I said, let's go Tokyo Giants.
That's right. It was Tuesday, actually. It was Tuesday.
I said, because if you ever get on Sneaky Show, you got to say, let's go Giants.
You got to say the motto.
To get off the show. And I cheated.
He did. And then he's going to come back saying, you got to admit that was funny. Yeah, I just read it and went on with my life.
He didn't show it, but
I didn't even.
It was funny though. It was.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
the look on your face. The look on your face was priceless for that.
Yeah. That's why I just did the click and then just
There's been a lot of interesting hires this week in the NFC East, and I was waiting for the announcement of Dan Quinn leaving, and I knew he would be headed off somewhere. I knew he wasn't going to stay within the organization, and it wasn't there was no animosity or anything like that. It was just I knew he was gone. There was no way he would
fly.
Yeah, I knew he wasn't sticking around. So, and then not only that, he took a couple of coaches with him from the Cowboys, and again, no animosity loss. It is what it is. It's the way the NFL works.
It's a business.
It's just interesting the guys that we're bringing in. Of course, the first person that was talked about was Ron Rivera.
Yep.
As I alluded to, 3 weeks ago, that he would be the first on the list to be brought in. Now you've got Zimmer. You actually had Rex Ryan show up today for an interview.
He was the one I thought you guys would wind up hiring.
And then also Wink Martindale. Yeah, that name came up.
Yeah, he came in for a visit as well. So it's interesting for defensive coordinators. You got to tilt it a little towards Zimmer. He knows the Cowboy way. So It's going to be fun to watch these next couple of weeks on the hiring process for the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
I got a question for you, True. I got to ask this question, and it may be the same question that Sneaky was about to ask you. You know, Jerry Jones mentioned early this week or early last week. We haven't spoken since this. He had that interview, and he goes, uh, Dak has done nothing for me to show anything. I said that Dak would take us as far as we were going to go, and that's as far as he took us. What are your thoughts about that?
Well,
and True, I thought you were gonna bring this up too. Homeboy is slated to get $60 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of also tag along what Philly said.
So as far as what Mr. Jones was talking about, I think it wasn't a shot. It wasn't a shot at the quarterback. It was more of, I think, just saying what he was feeling is that we could only get as far as a QB taking us, and we got as far as we could. And he wasn't blaming that on the quarterback. He was blaming that on the points we gave up. I mean, when you allow 6 drives or 7 drives and six scores, there's nothing easy about that. Yeah, I do admit he did have those interceptions, but I mean, he had 400 some yards passing in that game. You can't put the blame on him.
But how much of that was in garbage time? I mean,
it doesn't matter.
The game was already over. Because I had the same conversation with someone at work, and
well, that's fine. But a stat is a stat. He got us as far as he could. It was at that game. It was based upon the defense. That's flat out what it was. Defense is the one that ultimately lost us that game. It wasn't Dak Prescott.
That's not what he said, though. That's not what he said.
I'm not going to say Dak.
He's at a negotiating standpoint. You got to understand, Mr. Jones. Everything that he says has something behind it, and that is just letting him know that he's still got the confidence in Dak, and he's going to keep him because there ain't nobody else around. I'm sorry, Cowboy fans. Who are we going to go get?
Well, you guys are what, 35 million over the cap?
Yeah.
There's nobody that you can even drop right now that's even going to help you get out of cap hell.
Then we've got the signings of Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. We've got those guys coming back up. I mean, it's all business. It is what it is. And I mean, again, there's nothing we can do as fans. We can have some resentment. We can have some anger. But what Mr. Jones said is just flat out business. It's flat out business. There's no angst against Dak. There's nothing like that. It's just business.
I do work with a bunch of Dallas Cowboy fans. There's a whole lot of resentment. There's a whole lot of anger. I still got people. I still got people that I have yet to see in the office since the playoff game. It's to me. As far as Dak goes, I think Dak is going to need some mental help. I'm not saying he's crazy. I'm just saying psychologically, the playoffs is going to get into his head. He may not want to admit it, but you can see the play. You can see that CeeDee Lamb and him, they were not on the same sheet.
They weren't.
And I had a feeling Dan Quinn was going to leave. I didn't think he was going to stay in the same division because of the defensive performance that he had. There was a lot of people saying how ill prepared the defensive side of the ball was in that playoff game. And you look, at the end of the day, you guys won the division. You guys had the home playoff game. So as far as myself goes, I can't. The only good clap back I can give when I clown Cowboy fans, when I talk amongst them and we get in our discussions is, I'll admit we weren't in the playoffs, but you guys didn't show up either. So it's kind of the same thing. That's the only clap back I can give.
I'm gonna, it was like I was saying the game the week after. It was that we walked in that they took the approach of we're looking on to next week.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how unprepared it was. I mean, you can see it from the time that I walked into that stadium. But, Dan Quinn moving on, trust me, I am not surprised one bit.
I'm not either. Yeah,
I
there's
am
no way he
not
can come
surprised.
back. But
There was
now
there was a way he could come back, but it was more like, hey, here's an opportunity, you might as well take it. That is
I'm going to say
basically
one thing that all three of us, because Washington is not a part of what we all have in common, is the fact that we have our quarterbacks locked up. And no matter what, barring injury, of course, they're going to start next year. All three of our quarterbacks.
Yep.
Jones, Hurts, and Dak. Prescott, since I said everybody's last name. That's the one thing that we all have in common. We already got a quarterback locked down.
Well, there's
All
one
three of us.
All three, yes.
Washington does not.
No, I'm sorry. All three of us, yes. Washington does not. Yes.
Yeah, there's one thing interesting though that Mr. Jones said. We're all in. We're all in.
Yeah, you have to be.
And it's neither here or there. It has to be shown. It has to be said, okay, here you go. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to bring in these players. We're going to bring in this type of coaching. And once you do that, then people will start to, realize, okay, maybe he's actually talking, because the last, I would say 8 years, it's been a high capacity show to where we're going to look at this guy, we're going to bring him in off another team, or we're going to sign him off way. It's just been one person, and one person hasn't been cutting it for us. We need to do some more personnel. We need to do some more high valuable players if they're out there and they're available. And we'll see from there. And it's all going to start with the running back situation. I'm going to tell you that right now. If we don't go after a good running back, we're all lost. This year was just, one of the worst seasons for a running back for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care what anyone says. You can see it. There was no yards. There was just nothing.
Yeah, but how are you going to sign one when you guys are $35 million over the cap? And I tell you, there's nobody to cut that's going to make it any easier or to give you any relief.
There's no way.
Yeah, it's always one of those magical things on how money does free up in the NFL somehow, some way.
Well, see, so that there is a way. There is a way. The way is re-signing Dak for a couple more years.
Yep, exactly. And that's what it's all about. And that's what you got to, again, that's the business side of it. That's why all these, all the pundits and all the analysts can talk about contracts all day, but until it's said and done, we'll never know. And that's a huge one. Signing, multiple years, 2 or 3 years. Okay. You're at a, what is it now? We're at year 8, 9. So we're at year 8, 9 with Dak Prescott. And this is the time you got to start looking. We're at the 24 position of drafting, 27. Same as last year. It's got to be one of those scenarios where we got to actually start looking for a QB. We cannot be going into this class, into this draft and saying, hey, well, we're going to wing it with this guy one more year. It doesn't work that way. You can see the talent that's around here. You can see these coaches building up these quarterbacks. Brock Purdy's a perfect example. There ain't no other.
He's right now. It's going to be interesting this weekend. Now, I'll say this though, and I know the Cowboys have done it before because I see it on the news, that they'll take a portion of Dak's salary and make it as a signing bonus or some kind of guaranteed money. I don't know if they could go that route. I don't think they're going to add extra years to Dak's contract.
No, I do think I do think they will, and I do think those bonuses kind of type contracts do work out. Athletes should look at what Shohei Ohtani did. That's how you work the system. Okay, I'll take $2 million up front. In about 10 years, give me the rest of my money.
Can't do that. Actually, did you read about that?
I'm not saying that
he's not
yeah.
he's not able to do any of that. In fact, California is like,
Oh,
you're getting
he can't
taxed. You
defer.
want to do that? Go ahead, but you're getting taxed all the money that you're due on year one the way you're supposed to. So they're not going to be able to do that at all.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's I'm saying that's an example. You look at Barry Bonds, you look at these guys, the way that they get these contracts extended.
Bobby Bonilla, he's the one
Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah, he's the one that got that once a year.
But you look at those types of contracts. I mean, that's the real smart thing to do. But restructuring contracts, signing bonuses, I mean, that's how most of the NFL is working right now. Here's $20 million in a signing bonus. And I think that's the route that's probably more likely going to be taken with this situation.
Or do like Deshaun Watson and get it all guaranteed.
Even still, though, that's what I'm saying. Even still, you guys, like, even if they were to restructure his $60 million to go over an additional 2 more years, because even though he's on the last year of his contract, they extended out his signing bonus for a couple extra years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be cap hit. He's going to be a cap hit of $30 million next year and like $16 million the following year. And he's not even going to be on the team if you don't resign him. So all you're doing is kicking the can down the lane still.
I mean, it's just the way politicians run the country. It's the same exact thing. Let's just kick the can down the road. I mean, I'm been saying like that. It's been like that for the past 25 years.
I don't know how Jerry's going to be able to do that. Mr. Jones, as you call him. I call him Jerry because he trolls me. He don't call me Mr. Sports Guy. So I ain't calling him Mr. Jones.
Just think about it. They just stuck $300 million into a stadium to upgrade it. I don't know on what, but they did.
The World Cup.
Yeah, I'm just saying money's not a problem. It's just the business side that I'm not too.
Oh, no. Money's not the problem at all. It's the rules of the NFL.
Exactly.
You got to deal with. You got to deal with the rules of the NFL.
That's what I'm not going to go and speculate. I can't speculate. I am one of the worst people to try and speculate.
So as far as the Giants, we finally got our defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen from the Tennessee Titans. There was a lot of issues with getting a coach because apparently Dable's on the hot seat. I don't know how true that is. One of the main concerns was, maybe a one and done type year, the stability of it, of his position. So
this is year 3, isn't it?
This will be year 3.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say he's on the hot seat.
I still see him there. I wouldn't even be shocked if he finishes his full 5 years. I wouldn't be shocked. Because of the fact that the Giants typically don't fire coaches. Matter of fact, when McAdoo got fired, during the season, that was something that rarely happens with the Giants.
But it happened.
Say again.
But it happened.
Oh, but I mean, it did. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it rarely happens, but it did. And but as bad as was it Shermer was, they let him finish out the 2 years or the 2 seasons. And as bad as Judge was, they let him finish out his first 2 seasons. So I can honestly, Dable is loved in the.
Yeah, but Judge had how many more seasons left? He signed a 4-year contract, so they fired him.
Who?
Judge.
No, right. That's what I'm saying. He was there for 2 seasons.
Years. He was 2 years in out of
and
a
then they let him go. But then going off of that track, then I mean, I think Dable bought himself another year, and
at least a year.
Yeah, at minimum, and it depends. I mean, if we have like a 3-14 season, then yeah, I don't see Dable sticking around. But if
I don't see him making it past week 10.
I mean, if in that case, I mean, yeah, that could happen. But I'm hoping that I'm hoping that we don't have to worry about that. And we also got a new tight ends coach, Tim Kelly, for the Giants, and we also hired a couple defensive coaches. I don't have their names present, but I'm just excited. Kafka is sticking around. He was the head coach for the what was it, the Senior Bowl. I'm glad he's sticking around. I have that continuity with Jones.
I just see, after watching this week's, episodes on TV from all the different guys, you're talking about one of the biggest markets in sports, which is New York. This is season 3. I'm sure the family there that owns the Giants is pretty cutthroat by now, especially the past two.
No, Mara and the Tish family.
With the two situations that just happened in the past couple of years with the hiring and firing of coaches, I think he really is on the hot seat. And I just don't. I mean, with the new coaching staff coming in and everything, maybe things will turn around. I think it's a 10-game window for him is where it's at. To see 10 games, we'll see where he's at. If he's at 500, then we might give it to him. But if he's not, anything below 500, I think he's done.
For me, I think why I believe that Dable has at least maybe another year after this one is, look, they still got Jones. And if Jones doesn't cut it this year, they'll draft a quarterback. And then that will be Dable's project, that quarterback's rookie season. Now, I would not be shocked if, after we had our first round pick, we trade up either in the first round or early second round and get a quarterback. And then that would kind of be the project of Dable. But the only reason why I can see Dable sticking around for, and of course, this is all saying, we're not having a successful season next year. It all depends, if we're having an unsuccessful season and the team still responds, I'm sure he'll be sticking around. I mean, it clearly showed that the players still want to play for him. So
let me ask you this: what position did he come from as an assistant?
Oh, he was offensive coordinator.
Okay,
offensive coordinator, quarterback coach.
So I don't see, like you just alluded to, of him sticking around and having this, project with a drafted quarterback. I don't think he has that. I don't think he has that leeway there anymore. I think even though he's not the one that drafted Jones, even though he hasn't been able to get anybody in there, I don't think that organization is going to let him fly. He's been given 3 years to try and build this up, and he hasn't.
Well, I mean,
I think that's the problem.
He has shown some success. I mean,
yeah.
And I'll respectfully disagree. I mean, again, it all pretells on how the season goes. I mean, if we're 7-10, but the guys are still playing and fighting for them, that's a different topic. And then than being 4-13 and they play the last 13 games like Philly did the last game.
Yeah.
So it all depends. It all depends.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, the good thing is the draft is in 2.5 months.
2.5 months. Looking forward to it.
We can talk more about that later.
What about you, Philly? You guys got some new coaches.
Yeah, we'll figure that out after the Super Bowl. We've got plenty of time.
Okay. What's up?
It's the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is getting played here this Sunday.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Even though I'm not, the Giants aren't in it, I guess we can talk about it a little bit.
And it's the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And so first things first, let's say, aren't you happy that they debunked the whole thing with the...
Yes. Oh, my God. Thank you. Yes.
Did they? No,
the color scheme, yes. Oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about that.
Guess what?
Maybe as a friend was telling me, maybe they just said, you know what, we need Kansas City in there so we can make sure this is debunked.
Right. And Taylor Swift. We got to keep Taylor Swift's money coming. So she was able to purchase portion of the NFL with the $1 billion that she had.
So much so that she has a concert in Japan the night before that the Japan government made sure and promised that she would be on site for the game.
It's actually
everybody was worried out
it's
there.
the night before. It's the night before, but as that's going on the night before, it's like a full 36 hours.
Yeah.
So it's really not like that. It's really almost 48 hours.
Did any of you guys watch the opening day on what do you call it, NFL Network? Did y'all check it out? Like on the NFL Network, the media day about the Super Bowl. Okay. So
media day.
Yeah, the media day. Well, it was like opening night or whatever you want to call it, where all the players came out.
Yes. Okay, opening night. I saw a couple of things on Instagram.
So I thought it was comical because when it came on, do y'all remember the running back? He was with the Jaguars, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Oh yeah.
When he came on, the woman introduced him as Super Bowl champion Maurice Jones-Drew, right? I did the same thing. I did this. I'm like, wait a minute. I instantly went to Google. I'm like, I know I suffer from CRS, can't remember shit, but I know for a fact he does not have a Super Bowl ring. And then they went to, I think it was not Eugene Robinson, the quarterback for the Seahawks. He was a quarterback, but they kind of used him as a utility guy. He won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks 2013.
Rob.
Robinson. Yes. He went to Penn State. He was a quarterback in Penn State. Anyway, so he corrected her and was like, and don't ever refer him as Super Bowl champ ever again. Anyway, and then because he had this little kid. So, like I said, I did a little Googling and I did some hunting. It turns out Maurice Jones-Drew is a Super Bowl champion because he was with the Los Angeles Rams when they won their Super Bowl
media
ring.
day, or he was with the
media. He is a color commentator. Correct. I don't know if he still is or what. I don't know, but he was back in the day. So yes, he is. Granted, not a player, but he was part of that organization that won the Super Bowl. So rightfully so. Bada bing, bada boom. He got his Super Bowl ring. So
I won't get those 5 minutes back ever in my life. Never am I getting those 5 minutes back.
I just thought it was interesting.
How that's not interesting, even a little bit.
There was a little back and forth. It's Super Bowl weekend. It's Super Bowl weekend. So,
So actually, the line is back down to a 1.5. It has fluctuated all the way up. It was as low as 1. It's been as high as 2.5. Didn't make it to 3. And the over-under was started out at 45.5. It's gone up to 47.5, and it has stayed there ever since. It has not fluctuated any at all. It's not going to matter that it's going to be sunny and cold in Las Vegas because it's going to be in a dome. I will tell you that the lines will be long for the bathroom because as much money as it cost to build that stadium, they still didn't put enough bathrooms in there. And the pricing for everything is so ridiculous because Vegas likes to gouge everything. You remember when they gouged us, right? For the draft? Remember when that all occurred? And then they had to lower the prices. They had to give money back to people from their rooms because the prices came down so much. Guess what they're doing right now?
What?
Doing the same
they
thing.
Can't sell rooms. Can't sell anything. Got to lower the prices again.
You're right, because
this is the problem with Vegas. You got stupid mother trying to make all the money in the world. $2.5 million for a suite. $2.5 million for a suite. Get the frig out of here.
It was like
Get the frig outta here.
$125 per person. So Angie, I don't know. Yeah, when you were on my show last week, you and what do you call it? Real Cool Dad. All right, cool. RCD. He lives in Vegas. And he was like, "Yeah, wife said I can get I can use up $5,000. That's my max." At that time, $10,000 for nosebleed seats. One. Now they're down to 6,500.
And what I tell them, I said, wait till the day. Go right to what you call it, and you'll be able to buy one. They'll go to the ticket booth, and somebody will go there trying to sell you a ticket for $3,000. You'll get in that game for $3,000 because I tell you, you're going to see empty seats. You're going to see empty seats. They are trying to gouge way too much. Too much. And I hope they lose a ton of money. I don't ever want to see the Super Bowl back in Vegas. I don't want to see anything back in Vegas ever again. I think that stadium sucks. I think they built it wrong.
True. Let's let him have his moment.
It's money grab all the time. Vegas sucks. Their team sucks. The owner of that team sucks. And that stadium sucks. And so do all the hotels.
I had a great time at the draft, by the way. So
it was fun. It was fun because I was there with you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
like I like hanging with my friends, and it doesn't matter how much it costs me.
Right.
But I tell you, when they're trying to steal the money in my pocket, just because, then I got a problem.
Because they can. And they know you'll spend it. That's why.
It's not that you will spend it; it's that you have to.
Right. Well,
you have to.
Yeah.
Whether you want a bottle of water in 110-degree heat,
I paid. I think it was the Gordon Ramsay hamburger. I think was like $25, and that was without cheese. So it's crazy. It's stupid crazy.
Yeah, and you know the prices out there, seeing them all go around. You know what? I'm glad for the fans that are going to get in. But what you were saying, you might see some empty seats. It'll be just like anything else. They'll be grabbing people off the street and telling them to get in there. Here's some free
tickets. For TV.
Here's a gift card. Go in there and go drink. Do whatever, because they're going to try and get the standing room only area filled up. They're going to try and do this and that. And I tell you one bet I want to make on this game. There's only one. How many slips are going to occur by the players? Is it going to be over or under 50, just like last year in Arizona? Is it going to be the same field conditions? Because
there's only one bet I was going to make.
What?
And I did some research.
I was waiting for this. Here we go. Go ahead.
Watch, you're going to hear the line now for over under slips.
No, I'm not for over under slips. I have no idea for the over under slips. What I do have is Reba McEntire is singing the national anthem. And she has sung it for numerous sporting events. And when you take the times of all the times that she sang the national anthem, the time that they have listed for over under, they have listed for over under is way high. Bet the under. Bet the under. She would have to say, and the home of the.
So
brave.
Okay. I actually thought you were gonna go the I'm the one that's gonna say Taylor Swift route, where at the end of the game,
that bet I'm actually making. I am making that bet. I'm gonna bet $100 that he does propose to her at the end of the game.
He was asked that at media day. He said, so the question was, who is going to get a ring first, Brock Purdy or Taylor Swift? And he was like, Kelsey was like, I hope I get the ring. I'm trying to get this ring this weekend.
I'll tell you, got Post Malone out there too. That's my boy out there. I can't wait to see that part of what he's going to be doing out there and how he's going to make the highlight reels. But that's what I'm looking forward to of all the musicians, of course.
Post Malone. He's the guy with all tattoos on his face, right?
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. He's from Austin, right? Or is he from Dallas?
He's from Dallas.
Oh, okay. I know he was at that
Just another reason for me not to like him.
Right? Yeah. No, but you got to give him credit. He got hurt in one of his concerts and came out and finished.
Yeah, it was bad.
Almost fell through the stage. It was really bad.
It was bad.
Really bad.
You know what? Hey, listen. He put some mud on it. He went back out there and played.
He did.
You know, that's
it.
that's cool.
Yeah, he did.
I will do that. I will give him. I'll give him that credit.
Shout out Post Malone for being a trooper. Because I stubbed my toe, I'm done for the day. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone.
Hey, listen. I won't do any rants on Post Malone like I just did about Vegas.
Yeah,
that's
right now.
Today,
I won't do
this
that
moment,
right now. Yeah.
All right. So where were we going with this? Were we going to start picking this game, or what's up?
Yeah, I'd say let's talk about it a little bit. Obviously, it's like I said, it's a 1.5 point spread as we speak right now. So, and it's the 49ers are the away team.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to go first?
Go for it, Sneaky.
All right, I'll go first. And we got another 20 some minutes? Good. I'll take up 19 of it.
We only have 18 minutes, so
18. Okay, good. I'll take up 17 then. Honestly, I'll just make it short, sweet, to the point. I can't bet against KC. I cannot. And I think they're going to do just enough to win. I can easily see this game being 27-20. I'm taking, the under just by a half. They're going to do just enough. They're not going to try to get an A+. They're going to get a strong C to win the game.
Okay. A C+ is what he's saying. You're getting a C+.
Yeah, C+. Yeah, let's say C+. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
B-, C+.
Yeah, no, C+. They're not going to be above average. They're just going to do enough. Just enough to pass. Just enough to pass so they can, because that's what they did against you guys last year. And I think they were up by 10 against the 49ers last time, but this is a different team. But okay.
49ers were up by 10.
You're right. Well, I'm saying I think I can't remember the final score from the last 49ers.
It was a 10-point win.
It was okay.
49ers were up by 10.
They were, yes, they were. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go towards Kansas City as well. And it's, I don't want San Francisco winning, of course.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
I do think Kansas City does have enough. I do think, what they've shown the past 3 weeks. I mean, it's hard to stop what they've got going on, both defense and offensive side of the ball. And again, I think it's going to be just like, that Philly game in the Super Bowl with the slippage. I think that's going to come into play in this stadium, and you're going to see it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're going to see the slippage on the field. These two stadiums are I mean, they're just two peas in a pod.
Crap. They're crap.
They are. And you're going to see it on the field. But I do think Kansas City's going to play just like they did in last year's Super Bowl, and I think they're going to pull this one out. And it's going to be somewhere around what you're saying, Sneaky, 27-20, 27-23. It's just going to be enough to get through. Unless for some odd reason, somebody gets injured, then we'll see.
Yeah, one you chose was under, one you said was over.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's going to be that close. 27-23 is what I'm going to go with the over.
I don't think they're going to score that many points, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a much closer game. I think that if I were being a betting man, if I was the betting man, I like under in the half. I like under for each one of the quarters. I think that it's going to be I think the score is going to be 23-21. So it's definitely going to be under. And I also have the Chiefs. I think that you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Right now.
And don't forget, Steve Spagnuolo is the defensive coordinator that stopped the 2007 New England Patriots.
Yep. I think there's another interesting point that it's funny because
I didn't mean to cut you off, Philly. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was going to
talking.
There was one interesting point that was brought out about the whole Kansas City thing that I don't think a lot of people saw. But before the AFC Championship game, Eric Bieniemy had a conversation with the team. So, there's a lot of things that have been said about Eric Bieniemy and his coaching style and everything. But for him to go into the Kansas City locker room and talk to the guys before the championship, or just talk to the guys in general, I don't know if it was in the locker room or whatnot, but just reading through it, and that was pretty surprising to see that happen and occur. And I think you got to give a lot of kudos to Eric Bieniemy, and not only that, the members of the Kansas City Chiefs, just for just listening in on what he said. And going back to the Super Bowl, I think what's interesting too is that Kansas City is going to do exactly what Detroit did in the NFC Championship. I mean, the way that they mixed up the run with the pass. Now, granted, the Detroit Lions lost towards the end. They had that game in the bag. They really did. There was a couple of things that were, questionable, but I think it's going to be the same situation that the Chiefs are going to be doing. They're going to be, mixing up the bag with the run and the pass. And you got a much better arm than Jared Goff. So it's going to be a lot more interesting.
And a much better running back, I think, with Pacheco.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Pacheco has a field day. I would actually go as far as to say that he is going to be the MVP of this game. Either that or it's going to be the first time in a long time you'll see a defensive MVP.
Yeah,
That's
Jones?
somebody else.
You think Jones?
Jones could be a defensive MVP.
or Warner.
I don't know about that. I think it would be Jones, just because.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But that being said, I think that it's hard to bet against Mahomes. I think Brock Purdy has done more in this playoffs than he did all season long. But I go with the track record of the coach. And the one thing that I can say about Kyle Shanahan, is he knows how to lose Super Bowls.
That Atlanta one. I mean, he was part of that staff.
That's never going to leave.
And the 49ers.
Yeah.
And the 49ers.
So it's one of those situations where you can never outshine that moment in Atlanta. I don't care if you win 2, you're always going to be remembered for that one.
Yeah.
It's just the way the ball rolls.
And that really wasn't even his fault.
No, it wasn't.
Until he decided to not run the ball
exactly
at the end of the game.
Yeah.
You got to run the ball.
Hightower put that play.
The ball anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the fact that they didn't have the offense did not get on the field for what was it, like 48 minutes?
Yeah.
48 minutes. The offense was not on the field. And that you get cold. You get cold after that. It didn't matter that you scored 4 touchdowns in a friggin', 1.5 quarters. Once it was only 3 touchdowns because they scored a defensive touchdown after they drove down the field and you ran one back 90 some yards. And then they ran down the field. They drove down the field again. And then they got the ball in the second half and they drove down the field again. And then you go and you get 3 and out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just that's how that happened. So I don't really even blame him for that. But guess what? Gotta blame somebody.
And guess who was part of that organization?
Yeah. He's now the Commander's head coach.
He was the offensive coordinator.
No, I know, but I'm saying who else was in charge of that?
Oh, that was wasn't that Mr. Quinn?
Yeah.
Go figure.
So,
now, my thing is, I want to say that I'm glad, and I'm sure y'all can agree with me, that we are not Raider fans at all. Can you imagine either the Chiefs or the 49ers is going to win a Lombardi trophy on your field? Talk about picking the lesser of the two evils. Raider fans, 49ers, they hate each other. Raider fans and Chiefs fans, they hate each other. But yet both teams are playing on the same field and they got their logos in the end zone. I mean, I would hate to be a Raider fan right now. Shout out Captain Jack. Shout out King LV Raider, all the Raider Raider Aaron. Shout out all of them. I feel for you. You have
we had
you
the
have my
same
love
situation.
and heart.
We had the same situation in Dallas with Green Bay on one side and Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's
on the
right,
other.
Green Bay. Yeah, but nobody cares about Dallas. Nobody cares about Dallas.
And not for nothing. He deserves every bit of what he gets, that owner, because he's the one that's trying to look like, Mo or Hitler or whatever it is he's trying to do with that haircut. You know what I mean? Yeah, he deserves everything he gets. That's why I can rant about Vegas, and I hate that stadium. It looks cool on the outside. On the inside, that stadium sucks. It literally sucks. You got to wait for the bathroom. How do you build a $2 billion stadium and not enough bathrooms?
I'm gonna go see my barber this weekend, and I'm gonna be like, "Give me the Mark Davis."
I tell you, your barber will fire you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he looks like a tool. He looks like a tool, so he deserves every bit he gets. And I love Captain Jack. I went to the Tampa game with Captain Jack. It's like my
Captain
first
Jack
time
is
in
my
that
guy.
stadium.
Yep.
The ticket was purchased by Captain Jack. So I have nothing but love for Captain Jack, and I feel bad for him because he loves that team, and that team will never do anything anymore since Al Davis died. That's the problem.
Well, Tom Brady stepped in there somewhat. So
Yeah, not enough.
not yet.
Get a better
Let's
barber.
see what Antonio. Come on now. Let's see what Antonio Pierce will do. He's.
Well, I know it's going to be fun for the Raider fans out there this coming season. So it'll be fun to talk to Violator and Gorilla.
Yeah.
See how those guys are going to be, with their future coming into play with the head coaching staff there. So
yeah, I like Violator.
Violator. He's a chill. Shout out Violator. Yeah, he's a chill dude. Same intense. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, I ain't messing with him. But no, he was chill. He was chill.
That's it.
And I didn't get to see him all game until the end of the game. I ran into him outside, and I had a picture of the two of us. Somebody put the two of us, facing each other in a picture. Yeah, him and his stuff and me and my stuff. And I was like, "Have you seen this?" And he's like, "No." He didn't see it the entire time. So it was like,
Right.
And of course we lost that game. And every game that I go to with Captain Jack, the Eagles lose. So I'm not going to any more games with Captain Jack anymore.
You got to have your crooks somewhere.
But I had to, and it was funny. Of course he came with me to the Tampa game, and he hates Tampa fans, and he couldn't. Like I had to get in between him and another guy.
Well, you got two sets of pirates on either side.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, okay, I get it now.
So it was like I had to get in between him and the Tampa fan. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to deal with this with the two of you. I'm not getting in between. And then you wonder why I look miserable.
Yeah, and it was raining too. I think it was. Was it raining?
No, it wasn't raining.
Oh, okay. Well, it was Eagle fan tears, but other than that,
there was no tear. It was just miserable
from
all the way
you,
around.
not from you, but
I didn't cry. I didn't cry.
I know that's what I'm saying. Not from you.
Although the picture I wanted to make is me with that miserable face. I'm going to sell it too. I'm going to put a tear coming down my eye, and
on it, crying in that one.
It's going to say, "I love it when Philly loses." I bet you I could sell 1 million of those to everybody outside of Philly.
You never know. Do it. Shoot, do it. Man,
money off.
I'm ready for this game this week. So.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready to get it over with.
Did anybody watch the Pro Bowl?
Yes. I actually like this new format. I got to tell you. I hope Eli and Peyton do it every year. They make it fun because Peyton wants to destroy his brother. He couldn't beat his brother on the field, so he has to beat him as a coach, in the Pro Bowl. So Good for
Hey,
him.
I like that they brought the kid over with the glasses, the black kid with the glasses and the hoodie, and he goes,
Oh
"Oh yeah,
yeah,
Tom Brady's the goat." Psych! I beat him
psych.
twice.
I
You know,
beat him
and
twice.
everybody's
Yeah,
falling
Yeah,
out and everything.
yeah.
that
I
was
like
pretty
that. That
cool.
was.
But it was
uh,
fun seeing the
I
tug
think
of war. It was fun seeing the competitiveness. It was fun listening to the guys
Oh,
being mic'd up.
and your guy Kelsey started something when they did the pool, and he kind of rocked it back and forth. That was a brilliant strategy when he was
Yeah,
coaching the guys on
on the
that,
sled.
on that sled thing, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Pro Bowl this year. The flag football game was a little competitive as well, and
I think
you know,
I keep thinking that nobody watched it, of course, except you, Sneaky.
yeah,
No, I
So
watched it.
I'll watch it again next
all
year
right,
too.
both of you guys
Yeah,
watched. I did not watch it. I think that they should go the way of hockey. And I think that they should include the fans. I think that the fans, they add that anybody should, you can put your name in a hat and they choose 4 fans. And on Friday, they do a draft. And you get and this will work out better because you get a Manning, you get one Manning with your team, and the Kelsey brothers when they finally retire. Then you have the Mannings and the Kelseys. You put 4 teams. You have a round robin, and then the 2 best teams play for the championship. And everybody on that team, there's 88 players that get picked for the Pro Bowl. Yeah, every team's got 22 players, and then you have the 2 coaches and the fan, and everybody gets $50,000 on that team. The winning team.
I like the $50,000 part. I like that. I'll tell you what. When I go to the draft in Detroit, God willing, and I speak to Roger, I'll run that by him. I'll see what he says.
And that said, I'll actually talk to him first because me and Roger already have a rapport. I've already asked to use the company jet a couple times. So
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
I was there.
I have. He was right there. I did say,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey Roger, can I borrow the company jet? Yeah, he's like, what? I'm like, I need to borrow the company jet. I got to go somewhere real quick.
Yeah.
And that was
Oh, yeah.
he laughed about that. So, but ultimately, I think that would be a great idea. It would be a way to involve the fans and everything. It would be a lot of fun to be able to include it like that and make it worthwhile. So, I'm going to work on trying to get that to happen. Actually, I kind of thought of it this way: they choose 3 fans of the year. The NFL choose 3 fans of the year that are all chosen by their teams. Make it 4, and have those 4 be the
Yeah,
coaches.
there you go.
I don't care as
That
long as
would be
I'm
that would be kind of cool.
one of the ones that he chooses.
Well, one
It's not like
year,
only
one
play,
year, you could be one.
No, I'm kidding.
So I haven't been a fan of the year yet either. So
Can you imagine if they did let like the fan play flag football with the NFL team?
No.
No, you
imagine?
don't play, just coach. Just
No.
draft.
Oh,
Having a draft on that Friday. Think about the draft on that Friday.
I want to take a
People would
snap.
watch that.
I want to throw a
Yeah.
long bomb.
I tried to have that happen at the Pro Bowl. I was wearing the shoulder pads. I wanted them to have somebody, like an NFL player, tackle me. They wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, no.
No.
Again, True
that
was
part-
there. He saw that.
I'm
Yes.
too old for that shit.
No.
But
But anyways, everybody, thank you very much for hanging with us. Our Super Bowl edition. We'll be back next week to talk about how these teams did and if any
How they
other
didn't
news
do.
came about everything. A shout out to Pork Rind's family. I hope everybody's doing well. And our sincerest condolences from me and the guys here on your family. Again, hope to see you. Hope to see you next week. But to everybody, enjoy the Super Bowl. Remember, do not pick 5. Number 5 is no good. You do not want number 5 if you're in the box. If you got number 5 in the box, you're done. You're losing. Forget it.
Yep.
So, but anyway, everybody have a great one. Enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. And as always,
Let's go Giants.
Go Birds. Yeah.
hell to the Commanders.
Have a good one.
Or hell to the Skins, whatever.
Where did Pork Rind come from?
Yeah.
All right, gents.
Clear.
Another long day.